Forget about what the calendar says. Football season is right around the corner, and that means best ball week at DraftKings isn't far behind. Here's what you need to know. DraftKings Best Ball Millionaire Contest is their biggest fantasy contest ever. We're talking 15 million guaranteed prize pool with that's right, 2 millionaires being crowned for first and second place.
If you're a set it and forget it type, then best ball is for you. No waiver wires, no roster management, bigger roster so injuries won't end your season. Only the draft, and that's it. You're set for the season. And $15 million in prize money is no joke. Still not convinced? Check this out. This year, DraftKings is offering everyone a Draft One, Get One special. Your $20 entry fee scores you a bonus ticket.
Get ready for Best Ball Week at DraftKings. Download the DraftKings app and use code Jenkins. That's code Jenkins, Jenkins, for all customers who enter the NFL Best Ball $15 million millionaire contest to get a bonus ticket. Only during Best Ball Week, only on DraftKings. Welcome to Jenkins and Jonez on the Volume Podcast Network. It is Thursday, August 15th, and we have got a very special mailbag episode of Jenkins and Jonez. Mailbag.
That's the PTI, man.
Don't you feel like every person our age, if you say the word mailbag, does that like unconsciously?
It's
just as a tick.
Intertwined in my mind. Mailbag.
We're going to take questions in the chat. Next time we do a mailbag, make sure you're a part of it. YouTube.com/@Jenkins and Jonez. The subscriber numbers are growing. We appreciate everyone who's been joining, and please tell your friends if they're not on youtube.com/@Jenkins and Jonez. We're going to do some nighttime ones, some morning ones, some daytime ones, get you through workday, whatever it is. As always, Jenkins and Jonez, hosted by LaJethro Jenkins, aka John.
What's that, Bubba's?
Dragonfly Jonez, aka Tyler.
Hey, everybody, have a gun.
I'm Gardy B, aka Mike.
Motherfucking Mike.
Motherfucking
Mike. Coming to you live.
We're produced as always by the lovely and talented Jackson Saffon.
Why
All right, I have the first question as the chat gets going and starts throwing some questions in here. Who is, for each of y'all, who is your dream guest on Jenkins and Jonez? If you could book any person on earth, who would you book?
That's wild that I don't have this on hand.
Right? We should have this teed up, right?
Yeah,
this is a goal.
We're really not podcasting.
We don't talk about that,
right?
We never talk about we have the conversations we have on the podcast. We don't talk about the podcast. Off the podcast, you know what I mean?
No, but that's a fact because you're never talking to your three friends and you're like, you know who should be here right now? LeBron James. Like that.
Right.
I'll go first. I would say for me, the one person that, and it's partially because I've been 80% of the way there on like 5 different times, would be Vince Staples. Would be just the 1 for me. And the right combination of entertaining and like intellectually interesting. Like I think that would be an awesome episode of the show for sure.
I think he's flat out the best interview in rap music right now. So that's a hell of a pick. Who would I want? That's tough, bro. I really got to put a little thought into this.
You know who I've always said if I met them, like it'd be just shut the fuck up time and just listen. Wilbon.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just feel like he just every time he said, like when he's really talking about some real shit, you know what I mean? Like, and also he said nigga on television, which was just so well timed. I just respect it so much. But
I feel like I was gonna say I feel like y'all are off of Wilbon's coaching tree to an extent. Like he or at least he has to see y'all and be so happy because like what you guys have been doing was not possible when he was coming up, you know?
Oh, for sure. Shit, like we were talking PTI, dog, when that shit first dropped in like 2001, changed the whole fucking game.
Bro,
appointment viewing.
I'm stopping whatever I'm doing, nigga. I missed class over that shit.
Hell yeah. Yeah, if some big shit went down in sports.
PTI's on, nigga. Walking out of school, I'm paying for a university, nigga. I'm paying to be here. I'm going to watch this shit for free, nigga. Fuck you, man. Shit, nigga. But he probably wouldn't be like, I think that's a nigga that I always think about, like, just being around, being in this space or whatever. I would say going off the people that I've interviewed that I think would be dope on here, Jamie Foxx. That nigga was fucking, bro, when he walked in the room, he made everybody else feel like Jamie Foxx. like he was regular. I'm like, oh, like this is a talent they have. I heard The Rock is the same way, where he seems like when he walks in the room, like everybody's nervous initially with him coming, but he makes everybody else feel like they're The Rock and he's the regular nigga. Like he makes you feel.
Oh my god, I love when celebrities
So
do
like
that.
it's so like when he came in the room and I was like, damn, I'm interviewing Jamie Foxx. You know, my nuts all in my stomach and shit. You know, I'm going to but eat this motherfucker up. I'm gonna be stuttering Stanley right this bitch. You know what I mean? And he came in here and he came walking that motherfucker and made everybody else feel like a god, and he was a regular human. It was so weird, but I think he on this motherfucker he would go crazy, and he was just so like the most naturally funny human. Like, wow, this is really just you. You don't try at all, nigga. Like you were born this way. Like this, you're the most talented person I've been around. But I think Jamie Foxx would probably be the one.
Yeah,
That's a
Yeah,
really
that's a
good
hell
one.
of a pick. Shit. So since we're just throwing out shit that we have absolutely zero chance at, I'd probably go with Kendrick, man. Like he's the man of the hour right now. I think he's the best rapper of his era. He just had an incredible fucking moment, but the motherfucker just doesn't do interviews. Like he's at like 2 or 3 his whole fucking career. It feels
Good
like,
for him, bro.
yeah. Only
I
you
always
like
think
being famous, as he infamously said.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm surprised, but also not surprised that no one said Braun, just because I feel like the three of us we have talked about that of like
you're not gonna get if we're not talking about the actual basketball, the art of hoops, we're not gonna really have an interesting conversation with him. He's Mr. Brand, say the right things, and no shots to him. But like I'd rather interview a guy like Ant a million times over Braun.
For sure. I
Like,
feel
no
like
question.
with Braun, the only way that I would ever get Braun is I'm with somebody that fucks with Braun and it's not in a media situation at all. You know what I mean? Like I'm cool with somebody that's cool with Braun and we see the real Braun that way. I'm not, in that inner circle that's gonna see the real Braun. Like I'm not a locker room type nigga, but I heard Braun's like a regular, real ass nigga, bro. You feel me? So, but if we come in on some media shit,
when we had Boogie on, we had DeMarcus Cousins. That's what he said. He's like, however much of a real regular dude you think he is more of a regular dude. That's what he said. So.
Yeah. And you like he doesn't owe the public that side of him if he doesn't want to show it to them. So
for sure,
I ain't mad at him.
I mean, the way he's been as successful as he's been, you know what I'm saying, is because he's been so focused on, not allowing everybody in the way that he may have. You know what I'm saying? So G, like you can't be famous from the point he's 10th grade till 38, 39 and not have a fumble unless you're super conscious. You know what I'm saying?
The man never once mentioned Skip Bayless ever in his career. That is incredible. Like the fucking perseverance and the dedication you have to not giving anyone your energy who doesn't deserve it, and not to Skip Bayless, like all the shit that he said, like dog, and like we saw that moment.
He built his career off of hating on this nigga, and he never mentioned him. That's crazy.
Right, and like we saw in the Olympics when Steph is an infamously anti-Bron guy, Stephon Marbury, not Steph Curry.
Yeah.
And because Stephon is Steph to me too, man, old head. But there was that moment when he dapped up Melo and Stephon Marbury was right beside him, and he was trying to get some dap, and Bron acted like that motherfucker just didn't exist.
I love that, bro.
Yeah, he does not. If you have said, if you have ever like disparaged Bron's name, you're dead to him.
Yeah,
and I ain't mad at it.
I mean, nigga, if it's fuck me once, it's fuck me forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it, G. You know what I mean? You said fuck me. I don't think you come back from fuck me. You know what I mean? Like, we can't be cool after it's fuck you type shit. You know what I'm saying? So
Jackson,
G, I respect that.
Who's your answer? And then we'll start taking the questions from the chat.
Well, I'm going to give the chat's collective answers first. There's a lot of good answers in the chat. A lot of people echoing Vince Staples. Xavier said Mike Tirico, which would be good.
I'll be honest with you. If y'all book Mike Tirico, I'll call in sick that day. I have to be there as a fan for that. I can't see the behind the scenes of that. I just need to show up and watch that motherfucker.
The crazy thing about it, though, like we'd have to fire his ass up.
I know.
We
that's
couldn't
what I'm
have
saying,
a regular conversation with him. And the thing is, I wouldn't even try. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so Mike, how critical were the connections you made at Syracuse to the opportunities you got at ESPN?
No.
Like that,
you think your brown ass is Italian?
I'm saying you are brown as hell.
Nigga, yo,
He's like, nigga, you are
so
browner than a motherfucker.
break down this Italian thing, nigga. 'Cause I don't see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, help us out a little bit. Give us some context. You know what I mean?
That
There's also a
hold
lot
on.
of,
That motherfucker told us. he basically told us he was like Mike Tirico's about 60 years older. So this motherfucker told us he was running with 1980s New York City Italians, and they embraced him, and nobody called that man. Nobody called that man out of his name. And
That's
you were
crazy.
1983 New York City Italians just embraced you as one of their own. I'm
They
not
would have
buying
called
that,
him
dog.
literally everything but Mike. You know what I'm saying? Everything but the name his mama gave him, nigga. He talking about, nigga, I want to know what the milkman look like. You know what I'm saying? What's your dad's best friend look like? I know that story got to be crazy, dog.
That man said he was running with Joe Pesci from Goodfellas, and it was all love. Ain't no way, dog.
We gotta
Ain't
get
no
his mama on this
motherfucking way.
motherfucker. We gotta get everybody on this bitch. Daddy, we gotta, hey man. We gotta get to the bottom of this shit because that is wild, bro. Wild.
I will never get over it.
Nigga.
It's all I think
thought
about
it
every
was
time I see
Italian.
him.
Bro, listen. We was watching the Olympics and Rhonda saw, you know what I'm saying? She called him Tony Tortellini. You know what I'm saying? Tony Tortellini. She saw the nigga. She
That's
saw
marinara Mike in
Tirico.
my household,
Yo,
bro.
she saw Mike Tirico and shit, and she still didn't call him his name. She said, hold up, that's Tony Tortellini? Like him? He thought he was Italian? I'm like, yeah, that's Tony Tortellini around this motherfucker. This nigga thought he was Italian. The fuck? Crazy.
The other answers from the chat, there was a handful of schoolboy cues, both from
Okay.
rap because of the music side and also the golf
that
side
is
for John.
Such a great answer, dog. That's a
Chad gave you a better answer for you than you did.
I mean, yeah, I mean, to play golf, I want him. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm playing golf, I want that nigga for sure. And yeah, that's a better answer. Yeah, for sure.
There was a Meg Thee Stallion.
You don't want to see Meg Thee Stallion on this podcast, and you got 4 happy men with great grounded home lives. That is not a.
They trying to bring the
That's
devil in the house now.
That's an off comment.
Yeah, hey, block the nigga that said that shit, bro. You trying to set us up for a downfall, nigga. You know how awkward it would be me tucking my shit up under my belt, walking out the podcast. And I didn't say a word on this bitch because I'll be way too nervous. Like I said, nervous Nancy around this bitch. I'm gonna be but he goddamn trying to set us up for failure, nigga.
It would be 4.
So what's your skin regimen?
Right.
I'd like to work out. We talking about the most.
But in terms of my answers,
my answer,
Have you heard of Zone 2 cardio?
Zone 2 cardio.
Get real silly around this bitch. Fuck you, me.
Oh, you know who also you said about your Jamie Foxx story? Who like is like a really so like you were nervous and then they were like really like made everyone feel at home. You know who was like that for me was this. And this is just over Zoom. Is Daniel Kaluuya. That dude came in like I've never experienced charisma like that through Zoom. I was like, yo, this dude is like the coolest person I've ever interacted with, and he is making us all feel very at home with him. It was like we're in his living room. I was like, this guy knows. He's like media trained, but he knows how to like make everyone feel comfortable.
That's the nigga I said like he smoked black and mouse.
Yeah, we saw him at the Vince Staples.
We saw him at Vince Staples.
He was so bro. The nigga seems so regular to be such a famous nigga. You know what I mean?
He was just so regular and so chill.
Bro. I love that, man. That's fine.
But I don't have a good answer. I was trying to think of a good answer. The best thing that I thought of is I was like, I think it'd be really funny to have a conversation with Obama, but like smoking weed, but like you couldn't do that on the podcast. But like I think like
you don't think so?
Like a private version of that.
No,
I don't think so. Maybe like a few years from now when it's federally legal. But I think for now, I just think that's like a fun idea. But
I
like,
think
not
something
really
I thought would be
pod.
really funny as a bit is if we had Draymond on and for 25 minutes, all we did was talk about you. Like it was just like literally, it's like all
That's
we
a
did was
nightmare.
trade Jackson stories, and then we're like, "Thanks for coming on." And
Bro.
It would be cool to get like those type of people when they're at the point that Chuck is, where he doesn't give a fuck about nothing. I mean, Chuck never gave a fuck from the beginning. You know what I mean? But I feel like we all get to that point, like 50, 60, where like, you know what I'm saying? You know, fucking Brian is 60, the type of money he'll be making or has had. I think he'd be a great interview. And he would probably spill all the fucking beans. Like, this fucking bum ass nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think at that point, I think you got to wait till they're like.
He's going to be an NBA team owner at that point, though.
Yeah.
It might just, he might just never, you know what I mean?
He
that
might
just
never
never
be,
happen.
Hey, bro. Yeah, man, that's crazy. I can't imagine being that rich and still that conscious of like your, you know, who you are at that age. Would it be tiring at like 65? Like,
I just think that level of fame changes while your brain is still developing the way you see reality. So when he's in public, he doesn't see that as reality. He's
not different. He
sees that the way that we would see the ocean. Like,
yeah,
I respect this. I'm moving through it, and then when I get out, I towel off. I'm with my family, and I'm myself again. You know what I mean?
His brain's just developed in a particular way. Yeah. So.
All right, should we take some questions from the
chat?
chat?
Hell yeah.
The fuck?
15 minutes in. Ask Why 05 said, Tyler, what was the best thing you've ever grilled? I know you remember.
That triceratops in his imagination. That shit had me. My mouth still waters just thinking about that.
Oh, the best thing I ever grilled. It was probably this boneless leg of lamb where it was like, bro, I had all the seasonings right on that motherfucker. Like the fire was just perfect. It was at like a low and slow, like 240 or so. It was just perfect. And bro, I think about that shit all the time. It was, yeah, a boneless leg of lamb that I cooked about a couple years ago. Like I think about that shit all the time. And I've been chasing that ghost. Like I've been chasing that dragon. I'm still like, my boneless leg of lamb is still incredible. But that one time that I did it with, everything was just perfect. It was like,
did you feel like a god? Did you feel like it was the universe aligning? Did you feel like you were the person, like, you know what I'm saying, manipulating this shit? Or you feel like, hey man, the universe just shining down on me right now, nigga?
No,
you know what I'm saying?
I felt like it was all me. Like, I don't know how I captured that magic in that moment. Cause like I said, I grill that shit all the time, but that shit was just, I don't know. Maybe it was the cut that I got or whatever, but it was just different, dog.
Did you know in the moment it was going to be different? Did you know like, oh, this was going to be?
No, I mean, I knew it was going to be fucking delicious, but it was delicious. Like my favorite thing about lamb is how grassy it is, right? Like that shit was the grassiest lamb in like the best motherfucking way. It was so fucking good, dog.
None of us can relate to the way you talk about grilling. Like, I love listening to you talk about grilling, but I have no ability to relate to it.
Yeah. Shouts to lambs. You know, I've told y'all my theory before, like the cutest animals, the most adorable animals are the most delicious.
So if you make that triceratops fire, you really the coldest nigga on the planet, nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because there ain't nothing cute about that bitch. But if you make that shit delicious, you the one, nigga. You feel me?
Okay, next question is from Cassandra. She said, I don't know if this is real. I have to double check. But she said she thinks it's real. Did Mike try the metal-shaped Reese's for the Olympics? And if so, where does it fall in the official Reese's rankings?
I've actually had this on the topic list like 4 times, and the USA basketball shit was just interesting enough. We never got to it. I really think I think Reese's is, I would almost say like jumping the shark with the attempts to push the specialty ones. And I do appreciate the question.
Wow.
Several people have tweeted at me about this. First of all, there's literally a lawsuit to them for false advertising about the way that they're promoting that there's this like fletching on the surface of the seasonal candies that does not actually exist. So when you look at what they're advertising, it looks like a gold medal. It's got the circle with the ribbon coming off, and there's like a lines etched into it so you can see what it is. When you open the thing up, bro, it just looks like a lump. Like trees look like trees, the eggs look like eggs, the pumpkins look like pumpkins. The gold medal is just a circle with the thing coming. You can figure out what it looks like. And
the pumpkin's kind of a lie too, though.
What's that?
The pumpkin's kind of a lie too, right?
No, it doesn't have the eyes, but at least it's the shape of a pumpkin still.
Yeah.
And so, frankly, the peanut butter ratio was too high from my perspective on it. But we got the Olympic fever in my household, and I've never been more disappointed by a Reese's product than I was by the Reese's gold medal seasonal candy. So
was it the worst part of the Olympics to you?
by far.
Wow.
Well, what they did to Jordan Childs and the Algerian boxer, that was the worst shit. But after that, it was the
Jordan
Good save.
Childs, did they switch it up though? Because you said there was some more footage, right?
We talked about it on the last pod, but
Oh,
that's not, yeah. USA Gymnastics is going to all kinds of court for her, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I really, thankfully, the target by us always jumps the gun. So like during the Olympics, I was already I'm getting the Reese's pumpkins already for Halloween. So we're good.
It is August.
They're the freshest they're ever going to be right now. They're the freshest they're ever going to be right now. You know what I mean? You're going to go buy it in October when you're in the mood and it's going to be 2 months old.
Damn.
Sorry.
Damn, you're right. Nah, you are right. First, before we get to another question, Kyle in the chat said, following up from a previous mailbag, I asked how to start a photography career. Y'all gave great advice, and now I'm booking shoots regularly. Shout out Kyle.
Congratulations
Way to go,
you.
Kyle.
Let her hear that, bro.
That is so great.
Hell yeah. And while we shout,
I remember that. We were like, start small.
And while we shouting out the chat, before I forget, the homie AskY05 who asked me that question. That's one of my homies on Twitter. He's really deep in his grilling shit too. So if y'all are part of grilling Twitter, get a homie a follow. But yeah, shouts to Kyle too, man. Let her hear that, bro.
That's awesome.
Fire. That's beautiful.
That's a tough thing to break into right now too. Photography. That's
real.
right. Yeah. Good for you, Kyle.
All right. Next question. We're going to stay briefly on the Olympic topics from Diego.
Proud of you said we are proud of you.
Hey,
Diego asked, how excited are y'all for the next Olympics being here in LA? And Mike, how much are you dreading everything that comes along with it?
Y'all.
It's a question for everybody, but
yeah. I did the last one. Y'all go first on it.
I'm excited about it, but I know that traffic will be fucking insane. You know, my house is gonna be full, which will be fun to a degree, but I'm a in the dark staring at the ceiling ass nigga, so it's not gonna be fun for too long. But I mean, I think if I get past that bullshit, it'll be amazing. You know what I mean? The fact that shit is going on around me. I've never experienced anything like that in my life. You know what I'm saying? All the different cultures being here, all the different people, all the athletes. I think it'll be fire. But you know, when the little annoying shit is like minimal compared to how amazing the moment will probably be.
Are y'all planning on like actually attending shit, or?
I'm gonna be covering this shit. Yeah, I'll probably be working.
I want to go to at least
I
one
want
of
to
that.
go to track and field for sure, bro.
Yeah,
I have to see them guys running.
I gotta see that. I gotta see that speed in person, bro.
Oh, for sure.
You know,
You got a spot. You got a spot in John's house for sure.
Yeah. Right next.
We're gonna have our garage done up by then, Tyler. If you want to stay in Long Beach, we'll be. That's the plan.
Yeah.
But we go to the pin relays. We can do some shit like that. That might be fire to see them niggas running, because all the guys pull up to that too, right?
You just got to go when it's a year that the pros are running. Yeah, which sometimes just based on if other events are going. You know what I mean? It's
okay.
It's just a weird sport that way, because there is not really there's the Diamond League, but there isn't really a like organizing body around it. This like everyone's here, so you kind of have to follow the athletes. That's part of what their frustration is and everything. But I'm very excited for it. I think it's going to be, having been at the London Olympics, there's so many cool things about the Olympics that would never occur to you, but like, you know, the marathon, and I love this idea that France did. They call it the marathon et tu, where they let everyone at the end of it on the last day, they let everyone run the marathon course. I thought that was so cool. I had a homie that ran it. Oh, that's dope. That's awesome.
But like, it was hard as shit. The hardest marathon he's ever run. He runs.
They did like the whole thing uphill or something, didn't they?
All hills, bro. He said, bro, this shit crazy. You know the meme of the girl, she's like, bruh, you know what I mean? Drinking water. Yeah. He didn't recreate that on purpose. It actually happened. Nigga, like on his IG. He was like just dripping wet, drinking that. But that's crazy. And that's fire too. But he actually got to run it. That was beautiful.
So I'm very excited, but like one of my fondest memories from London was not like, we were working 16 to 20 hours a day. I mean, it was really insane. But I didn't have anything on the closing ceremony day, and I just went literally to Buckingham Palace, because the marathon's open. You don't have to get a ticket for it. They just run it through the most famous parts of whatever city they're in. And you're just standing there. You have people from like 4 different countries in Africa singing their national anthem as people were running by. All these different musical instruments I'd never seen. Like it was like one of the few moments where you're like, oh, human beings. Like we could really have something here, So I'm really excited about that. My kids, that's been the big thing for me when they announced the year. Vinny's gonna be 15, Maya's gonna be 13, so they're gonna be like prime foundational memory ages. It's gonna be great for me for work and everything. The only thing I'm not looking forward to is annoying motherfuckers on Twitter telling me that I shouldn't care that Long Beach is a different city than LA, and I'm just gonna care. And everyone here is gonna care for the rest of our fucking lives. They did.
Why would they say that?
Mike
though? Why would they
Tirico
say
said.
that?
Mike Tirico said that they're gonna on the closing ceremonies that they're gonna cut to a concert in Venice Beach and then cut to a concert with Snoop Dogg, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Dr. Dre, and Billie Eilish in Long Beach, 10 minutes from my fucking house. And I pointed it out on Twitter, and everyone's like, "It's in LA County." It's like, no one gives a fuck, bro. We got 500,000 people here, and I give a shit about my city. So, like, it's the LA 2028 games. That's great. Very excited. But we also have 7 events in Long Beach, and I'm going to say that shit's in Long Beach. So, fuck off.
Why did they care? What was their reasoning? What was their reasoning behind it?
I have too many followers that don't live in my city at this point. That's the reasoning. But because of y'all. But no, the one thing I would say about traffic, because I've seen a lot of people talking about that, the traffic actually was non-existent for the 1984 Olympics, and that everyone who was here for that time in LA says it was the least traffic the city ever had, because all the companies downtown let people work remote or said you could work a separate, like an off-hour shift to make it easier. But there was like this big spirit of cooperation, and they just announced that they're not going to have parking lots.
We'll see about
They're
it.
not going to have parking lots at the. Well, I think that's going to be true, Jackson, just from a security perspective. Like, especially in, at this point, the central part of the Olympics there's a security halo around it. So I don't think people will be like driving up to the Coliseum. Whether we have the public transportation at that point or not.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Yeah.
Yeah, they're talking big game about that being done.
But those concerns exist about everything. Like, and I think it'll be crowded and stuff. But like Paris, like a ton of people who lived in Paris vacated the city because they were just like, oh, it's gonna be worried. And then everyone who was at the games talked about like, I've never been in an Olympics with so little traffic, and that was Paris. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So that's more of a wild card to me.
Word. This is an interesting question that I feel like we'll get some disagreement from all of us, which is why I'm asking. P. Eagle says, "Is there a perfect bite of anything better than a perfect BLT bite?"
I'm a turkey BLT guy. I'm a turkey BLT guy, but a perfect bite of a turkey BLT is on toasted sourdough would be close to perfect for me.
I mean, I love BLTs, but BLTs aren't even my top sandwich,
Yeah.
What's your top sandwich?
BLT is like
it's gotta have
not
turkey.
even a top
It's
10.
gotta turkey BLT to me. Turkey BLT. The BLT.
BLTs are like probably like 15 to 20 in the top, you know what I'm saying? And then but it's always good. It's never bad. There's not, I haven't had a bad BLT, but there's so many things better than that. What's the best bite of food you ever had?
Wow.
What's the best, whoa. Like sitting down at the plate, like, nigga, I know this is one of them ones.
I promise I have the fattest fat boy answer out of everyone.
You can give your answer.
When I'm eating Haagen-Dazs ice cream and you get to the middle part of a pint of Haagen-Dazs where the ice cream is like so hard you have to
His whole life has led up to this moment. You
have to like pry the real hard and you put it in your mouth and it's like the texture is so dense. And then it kind of softens a little bit in your that's it for me.
Bro, that
was poetic.
That was like sensual, nigga. You know what I mean?
When you really gotta dig that middle part of the ice cream pint out of there.
Jesus Christ. Hey, I wish you would have said that in front of Meg Thee Stallion. Breaking down that would have been. We all might have just exploded in this bitch, bro. That was crazy, dog. Oh,
Tyler, what you got?
This might be recency bias, but wifey and I went to this Middle Eastern place in DC called Maidan. It's kind of like if you've ever been to like what's the shit Fogo de Chao or like Texas Day Brazil, like that type of model where it's just nonstop meats and shit coming your way. And bro, there was this fucking grilled chicken. There was this grilled chicken.
Hey yo,
Relax.
There was this,
that's crazy.
Hey,
oh, go ahead.
Delicious meats. There was this grilled fucking chicken that they served that I took a bite of and I had to like put my fork down. I was like, oh my fucking God. Like
Grilled
bro,
chicken?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes, a Middle Eastern style of grilled chicken that was so fucking good. Bro, like it is incredible. And I have been trying to like replicate that shit. That's another fucking dragon I've been chasing. We legitimate, like this restaurant has a cookbook and wifey ordered me the cookbook for that shit because I got to get that chicken down, bro. It was that fucking good.
Oh, this is a Michelin starred fucking place in DC, huh?
Yeah. Like,
y'all went to the
out
one.
reservation type.
I'm
shit.
telling you though, that's bigger than just
fire.
art. It's like I think those places mix art and science to like make your brain. It affects your brain, like you know what I'm saying?
I'm looking at
Like
pictures of this shit. This looks like art, bro.
Yeah,
Jesus,
That's
dog.
fire.
I'd say the best meal I've ever had was in Augusta, Georgia, Thanksgiving. Whew. I'm a type of nigga that'll eat. I like plan out my meal, like my like I'm like I get a pan of food, like it's like a dish pan, and it's all basically separated. It'll touch a little bit, but not a whole bunch. But I eat the worst thing first, and then I eat the best thing last. That's everything. I just plan out every Thanksgiving. I do that shit, even though everything's generally good. But this Thanksgiving, I couldn't help it. I just was eating all different things. I had never been. It changed me. Like it made me a different nigga than I'd ever been. I'm like, oh my fucking God, this is good. Why do you want to bite of this? I was eating from all different shits. So I think it was like just some country ass niggas made a fire ass Thanksgiving dinner in Augusta. But my favorite food right now is probably egg curry, bro. Brother's mom, dog. With roti. Oh my fucking God, nigga. Bro, that shit is fucking. Oh. I'm just overwhelmed thinking about it, man. It's like my head started hurting right here. Bro, man, that shit is spiritual. Egg curry with roti. Oh, fucking God. So yeah, those two things.
That sounds good. For me, the three things that immediately came to mind for me are one is my mom's key lime pie. Will change your life. I've had multiple people be like, I don't even like key lime pie, like at all. And I'm like, you just gotta try it. And they're like, okay, this shit bangs. So that is up there for me. And then I was in Japan and we went to the Tsukiji fish market, which is like you go and they like just basically the stuff that they had just fished. And it's like where they actually sell to vendors and whatnot, but you can also just go and get food there. And we got this freshest piece of Toro tuna that like just they cut it right there. You just eat it right off
Did you
the
put
thing.
salt on it?
And
It was just the meat itself that just tasted.
It just comes right there. I think they might have had soy, but like it just like talk about melting your mouth. That was crazy. That was crazy. But then another one that came to mind is the first time I ever took a bite of the taco from Sonora Town, John. It was like a spiritual experience. I was with Kim and we were like, I've been wanting to try it for so long. It's a taco place in LA. And there's one in Long Beach now,
What's
I
it
believe.
called? There's like 3 of them, aren't there?
Sonora
Like one
Town.
in Long Beach, one downtown.
Sonora Town. There's one downtown. There's one near John, and I think there's one in Long Beach now. And I'd wanted to try it for so long, and it was a spiritual experience. It's amazing. They homemade the best flour tortillas I've ever had. They like fly in ingredients from Mexico. It is insane how good Sonora Town is.
It's the only horchata this is kind of like your mom's key lime pie. I don't like horchata. I don't really like.
Yeah, I don't like
dairy
horchata
drinks,
either.
none of that shit. I'm kind of cool. Like, you know, I was not a milk drinking ass nigga when I was young. You feel me? We was on that orange juice, nigga. I was killing that shit at the house. But anyway, I need some now. Sick as fuck. But anyway,
Yeah.
I'm going on a rant. But the horchata is actually good there too. Also, when we went to the driving range, the shit was so good. I bought a t-shirt. I had a t-shirt on when we went to the drivers. I had on a fucking Sonora Town t-shirt because like it was so good. I'm like, I need to buy merch from here. Like, I need to buy. You have shit to sell. I want to rep this motherfucker. It's an incredible fucking taco. That place is fire.
That place is fire.
And it feels like it's not weird. Like, it's not like it's so good, but they kept it really regular. You know what I mean?
It feels
like
regular.
It would be so easy to make it a thing out here, and they're not going for that route. They're keeping it very regular. I love that.
For sure. We guess still got time for maybe another
Yep.
question or two. Let's do from Joey. What was y'all's first stand-up comedy routine that you watched, and who's your favorite stand-up of all time?
Tyler hit me this dude, but I want y'all to go first.
The first stand-up specials or just a stand-up bit, because like
Whatever jumps out to you. Whatever
Def
jumps out to
Comedy
you.
Jam was my intro into stand-up comedy.
Oh my god.
Like to see Bernie Mac and Chris Tucker on that shit, like before they were stars, like I vividly remember that. My stand-up special was Eddie Murphy Raw. My pops had it. He showed it to me when I was like fucking shit 7, 8 years old. Pops didn't give a fuck. And
That's
bro,
fire though.
yeah,
That's fire.
And dog, it like I legitimately think that might be the best stand-up ever. Maybe that's the childhood nostalgia, but like Eddie Murphy was Eddie Murphy's the GOAT to me in regards to stand-up comedy. I think he's the best to ever do it.
We Shar and I love stand-up comedy. We tried to see all the heavy hitters. We go regularly out there. We saw Chappelle at a little club in LA. Like we really love stand-up comedy. The first time I ever saw it was Seinfeld. Just watching an episode of Seinfeld, my parents were watching, like in those first seasons where he would do, like, they'd show him. And I just thought that was the funniest part of the show as a little kid. And then when we got Comedy Central, when we got cable, and at that time, Comedy Central was just playing random sets from like the Aspen Comedy Festival. It would just be like, here's someone just for 15 minutes or whatever, like, because they didn't have programming or whatever. My favorite stand-up comedian all time would probably be Mitch Hedberg. RIP, but I just think that dude like changed the way I thought about comedy and everything. I think he's the funniest ever.
I think what got me, like the first ones I saw were Comic View on BET.
Yeah.
We didn't have like HBO and shit. You feel me? So like it was Comic View. We was watching that shit. That was a time.
Quack, quack.
Ducky, quack, quack, nigga. That was the time. You go to school and niggas was watching it too, so you share them shit. That was a moment for sure.
Yeah.
That's when BET that shit was cracking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then funniest one is Patrice O'Neal, Elephant in the Room.
Oh yeah,
nigga.
I think
that someone in the chat said that was the best one.
That I was at a Drury Inn. I was working traveling in Southeast Missouri like for 2 weeks. And I was like recruiting or whatever. And I was in a Drury Inn. I had to pause it in the middle because I thought I was gonna die. Like I was laughing so hard I couldn't breathe. And I'm like, nigga, hold up, bro. You gonna die in a Drury Inn at the Boot Hill of fucking Missouri? Bro. Oh, no, this is funny, but it ain't worth it. So I did ask pause it for a second. Walked away for like 10 minutes and came back to it after I like composed myself. That shit was fucking funny. And that is that's where we get Jackal from. You know what I mean? That's that's what we got calling
Devil kissing a jackal in the mouth.
Kissing a jackal in the mouth. You know what I mean?
Hi, I'm white lady.
Jackal in the mouth. That's the part that I had to pause and walk away when he said kissing a jackal in the mouth. Yo, I don't even know if I heard jackal in my ears. I probably only read jackal before that. You know what I mean? I don't know if I ever heard anybody actually audibly say jackal. That shit was so funny to me.
Shout out Langston Kerman stand-up special dropping 5 days, August 20th on Netflix.
I'm excited about that for sure.
Yeah, I cannot wait for that shit. But yeah, that man had us laughing at commercials about puppy abuse. Like, that's comedy, though. How do you make that funny? Like,
and that's the thing these niggas forget. They like, we're getting soft. No, y'all niggas ain't funny enough.
Yeah, you need to find the
We will laugh at anything if it's funny. Y'all ain't funny enough right now, bro. That's what it is. You could get any issue off if I'm going to laugh at it. Yeah. You feel me?
Exactly.
My favorite thing is to laugh at myself. When niggas be firing me up, I love when my friends fire me up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They know me personally. Like, they know all the shit about me. You feel me? And they be eating my ass up sometimes. And I love it. I laugh because it's funny. Crazy.
It takes some mental work to find the funny in certain situations. Like we're talking about how Patrice had us laughing at commercials about abused puppies. We weren't laughing at the abused puppies. We were laughing at how he was like, white women always try to guilt you about shit like this. Right. That was the joke, right? So yeah, if you can find the funny in some shit, you can joke about anything. Any fucking thing.
When I was a kid, there was this radio station in Seattle. I wish I remember what radio station it was. My parents are really into comedy, and this radio station had this thing where on people's commutes into work at 7:20 and people's commutes out of work at 5:20, they would have the 7:20 funny and the 5:20 funny, where they were just like, it was like a
That's
music
great.
radio station, but they would just play
I
like
love
10 minutes, 5 minutes of someone's comedy set. And so when I was a kid, that's how I got into comedy, was just listening to the 7:20 funny on the way to school or something, or the 5:20 funny if we were coming back from like baseball practice or whatever. And I would always try to like, oh, we missed it. It was 5:28. Dang, we missed the 5:20 funny today or whatever. So that's how I first got into comedy. And then my parents took us to like see Jerry Seinfeld when we were kids, and see John Mulaney when we were, at that point I wasn't really a kid anymore, but they
Mulaney
were
is
always
so good
really
live. We've seen
into
Mulaney a couple of times live.
Mulaney
He's
is
so good live.
incredible live. That's the best live comedy I've ever seen.
I don't
for
know
sure.
if it's better or worse, but I miss like scheduled shit where like I could potentially
A
miss
lot.
it. I miss, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like that made shit. I don't know. And also I like the fact that happened to Jackson, and that's how he got into it. And we all had different ways of getting into it. There's some things that were, we all share, but there's other things that were personal. Like, you feel me? Like, and we don't really have that anymore. Everything's so homogenous now. You know what I mean? We're like, that made me nostalgic, hearing something that I never heard before, and that's how you got into it. And the only way I would have known that is if knowing you, and also you having that experience where you grew up. So I miss shit like that, G.
Big facts.
Like when we waked up, we would listen to what was it? The shit called it's the time join the morning show. You know what I mean? Like every morning we play that shit on the radio. You know what I mean? But that was probably really central to like the Black experience growing up. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't know, man. I miss shit like that, G.
Yeah, it's cooked. Everything's cooked
Yeah.
now, bro.
Also, radio fucked itself over with this payola shit. You know what I mean? They did it. They got
That's
nasty
true.
with it.
Hey, shout out. I know we got to get out of here in a second, but shout out to the Jenkins and Jonez podcast for being the Webby Awards Best Comedy Podcast of the Year in like 2017 or something, and us not finding out about it till like 4 years later.
We fucking did it.
We did it, baby.
We did it.
Also, shout out to the chat for like, nigga, I was nervous coming in this motherfucker. Like, bro, we really just gonna ask the chat? We don't want to set up some, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Mike
I said we don't, let's not do email ones because the chat will have good questions for us, and then we won't have to sort through 200 emails. And chat, John had faith in you too. He just didn't have as much.
I had faith. I didn't have faith in us.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that was great. It was us I'm worried about.
That was great. Thank you for hanging out. YouTube.com/@Jenkins and Jonez. Don't miss the next one. We'll be back Sunday night, and we will see y'all then. Bye.
Bye.